Most women spend years trapped in a brutal cycle of wanting to lose weight, starting fresh on a Monday only to quit or stop their fitness journey 3 weeks later. Because what eventually happens is you quickly burn out, you give into those cravings, and you look at yourself in the mirror only to realize you look the exact same as you did when you started your fitness journey. The problem is if you are trying to change your body with willpower, inconsistent eating, and random workouts with little to no progression, you're almost guaranteed to fail and you'll continue to stay stuck in this cycle forever. But the reality is, building muscle and losing fat is not about simply adding 20 more things to your existing routine. It's simply about building an operating system that provides predictable and sustainable results. Hey friends, it's Becca, and in today's video, I'm going through the exact 3-phase system that's going to take you out of survival mode and put your body recomposition on autopilot. Now, before we get into the video, if you want a free coaching lesson sent directly to your email inbox to help you build these exact strategies and help you implement these exact strategies, then go ahead and use the link down in the description to sign up for free. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the video to help you build that biological foundation. Now, I want you to start thinking about your body as a high performance computer. Now, if your internal hardware is completely broken, no software that you download onto that system is going to be working as it should. And that's why it's so difficult to lose fat and build muscle at the same time, especially if you are in a massive calorie deficit. You're working out 7 times a week while sleeping 4 to 5 hours a night. Now, to build a body capable of changing, we need to go ahead and lock in these 4 pillars. Now, of course, both the quality and quantity of your calories will dictate your body recomposition results. So if you're not dialing in on your nutrition, your fat loss will stall, and it's going to be incredibly difficult to build muscle, of course. So instead, I want you to focus on a 10 to 15% calorie deficit below maintenance. And this is going to burn that stored fat while providing your body with enough nutrients to protect the muscle that you're trying to build at the same time. Now, of course, when it comes to building muscle, protein is the queen of macronutrients. But we need to keep in mind that not all protein sources will help you achieve maximum results. Now, to maximize protein synthesis, i.e. the process that builds lean muscle, we must focus on the protein quality and amino acid profiles. And this simply means adding complete proteins into your diet. So think those lean proteins like your chicken, your turkey, adding in those eggs, of course. Tuna is a great source, wild fish, and even some plant sources, which contain all 9 essential amino acids in which your body might not be able to produce on its own. So if you're just starting your body recomposition journey, I don't want you to overcomplicate this. So you don't need to stress over every single tiny macro right away. I just want you to use the protein first approach. So lock in your protein at every single meal. So before you worry about anything else on your plate, I want you to get in at least 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal. And this is a complete protein source. This is to ensure that you hit your daily goals and hit that leucine threshold on a daily basis. All right, so once your protein is locked in and anchored on your plate, balancing the rest of your plate should be relatively easy. So half of your plate should be filled with fiber-rich vegetables. Think your asparagus, your broccoli, your spinach. Then I want a quarter of your plate filled with those complex carbs. So think those sweet potatoes, oats, brown rice. And of course, we're not going to forget our fats, which is about a thumb-sized portion. So think a drizzle of olive oil or some avocado on the side. And that's literally it. That's how you build your balanced plate. In this way, you're going to be able to nourish your body without completely pulling out your hair and stressing over what you need to eat on a daily basis. So let's go ahead and talk about your training. Cardio is definitely going to help you burn calories today, but building that muscle is going to help you burn calories while you sleep. So I need you to start at least aiming for at least 3 to 4 progressive training sessions into your week. And this means pushing your sets very close to failure, to the point where those 1 to 2 last reps are a struggle to get through. Of course, while maintaining good and proper form. Now, progressive overload might sound a little bit complicated for people, especially if you're just starting your fitness journey, but it simply means just giving your muscles a reason enough to adapt and grow over time. And you can do this simply by increasing a rep, increasing the weight, or even improving or deepening the range of motion better than you did last week. and to know that you're actually executing progressive overload properly, it's best that you start keeping track of every single exercise that you do on a week to week basis, whether that's tracking it via an app or writing things down. Let's get into pillar 3 and 4, where we're going to talk about your daily steps and even our cycles. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't have to sign up to a marathon or even intense spinning classes to see results, although those are great goals. But the reality is, you do need to keep your body moving because we cannot completely cut out cardio. Now, whether that means hitting your daily step goal or even walking on a treadmill on an incline, and even incorporating a few dedicated cardio sessions into your routine, we need to keep staying active throughout the day because staying active is a non-negotiable. Sitting sedentary for hours on end simply because you did your 3 workout sessions is not enough to get your results. And it's not enough to get you feeling your best as well. Now, as women, I cannot have a conversation about movement, daily activities, and energy levels without talking about our menstrual cycles. Because we have to come to terms with the fact that it does affect our energy levels. It does affect how we move throughout the month. And for some of us, it affects us way more than others. So during your late luteal phase, the week right before your period starts, progesterone is at its peak. And this slightly increases your resting metabolic rate, which can leave you feeling extremely exhausted and craving quick energy foods, like those high carbs or sugary foods that we always tend to reach for during this time. And when those pre-period cravings hit, most women simply panic. We slide straight into guilt and we feel like we completely lost control. But during this time, we need to keep smart carb sources around us. And this is going to help keep our cravings more manageable. Now, when it comes to training, especially around our menstrual cycle, this is the time where I want you to listen to your body. And during this time, I want you to keep track of how your training is affected by your menstrual cycle. And I'm not talking about simply not feeling motivated to go to the gym during this time. I'm talking about how you physically are able, or if you are physically able to get in a complete workout session during this time. Because for so many women, their menstrual cycle varies dramatically in how it affects their training. For some women, not all women, pushing through your period does not make you better or more disciplined than another woman that needs extra rest during this time. You need to simply listen to your body and meet yourself where you are at to keep the consistency and momentum going. So now that our foundation is set, let's go ahead and move on to layer 2, which is the operating system. Now, this is where 99% of traditional fitness advice completely fails. They'll give you a rigid meal plan with 14 different recipes and a 5 to 6 day workout plan. But the first sign of friction to this plan, in which your partner only wants takeout, your kid is now sick, and you came home late from work, and now you have nothing prepped or planned to eat. That system is going to collapse. So to make consistency automatic, we need to focus on 4 operating functions. So let's go ahead and simplify this plan by getting rid of decision fatigue, because decision fatigue is the silent killer of progress. So every single time you're asking yourself, what should I eat? You are adding another layer of friction to your existing system. And we need to remove this so that we are working on autopilot. So instead, we need to build default menus that we can always return to. So we need to set 3 default breakfasts. And that could be a Greek yogurt bowl, a protein smoothie, or even an egg scramble with turkey bacon, side of avocado on sourdough bread. We need to start building 3 default lunches. That could be your prepped chicken rice bowls or turkey avocado wraps. And for our dinner formula, we can use that balanced plate method. Now, I know what you're thinking because many of my clients experience this. You probably have a partner who eats whatever they want simply because they are not on the same health journey as you are. And some of your kids simply live off of chicken nuggets. So the last thing you want to do is cook 2 separate meals, one for you and one for everybody else. No, you don't have to. Cook 1 core protein and 1 base meal for the whole family. And this is going to change how you construct your plate personally. So for their plate, they can be heavy on the pastas, on the rice. For your Recomp plate, you can start with a double portion of protein as your anchor and fill half the plate with your veggies or even a side salad, and then take a single conscious portion of your carbs. So keep in mind, this is the same meal, but 0 extra cooking, 0 fiction, especially with your family. Now, number two, we need to remove the environmental and digital friction that you're probably experiencing. Now, every time your consistency breaks, we need to conduct a friction audit. Ask yourself, what was the problem? Why couldn't I stay consistent? What was the real reason? And be honest with yourself and ask yourself, what is the system fix? So, for example, if you keep skipping evening workouts, take ownership and pack your gym bag for the next day. Put it in the passenger seat of your car and drive straight to the gym after work. If you open your pantry every single time you come home after work and you are starving, and the first thing at eye level is your kids' snacks, you're going to lose every single time. So we need to start putting the protein staples in the forefront or exactly at eye level. Now, I want you to be honest with yourself, especially when it comes to your social media feed. If you're lying in bed scrolling late at night and your algorithm is simply completely serving you endless videos of soft chocolate chip cookies, deep fried fish sandwiches, a basket full of fries and desserts, and endless food reviews, I'm kind of low-key outing myself here, you are literally triggering your hunger signals right before you sleep. So we need to start curating our feeds to protect our goals, protect our focus, and protect our health goals. All right, so we need to keep in mind life is never going to hand us the perfect conditions, especially when we are starting our fitness journey or continuing along our fitness journey. And life is definitely not going to hand us the perfect life conditions simply because we want to achieve our body recomposition goals. So if your strategy relies on endless utopian moments or endless utopian seasons with zero stress, where your schedules are completely cleared and everything goes according to plan, you're simply going to fail. Now, I'm not simply talking about lack of motivation because you don't want to go to the gym today. I'm talking about real life circumstances. Like you have a crazy work schedule in which you have to travel a lot, or an entirely chaotic moment where it throws your calendar completely off kilter. Instead of starting and quitting every single time life gets busy, we need a system that works during all seasons of our lives. And this is where we're going to go over the 3 operating modes. So we're starting off with our growth mode where we are at 100% capacity. We have the energy, we have the ability to go to the gym, get in our steps, and even meal prep. This is where you're going to start hitting those 3 to 4 lifting sessions a week. You're going to start logging in those 10,000 steps per day. And you're even going to start tracking your macros. Next, we're getting into maintenance mode, where we're at least 70% capacity. Life is still busy, but it's relatively manageable. During this time, you're going to at least hit your 3 workouts. You're going to try to get in 8,000 steps at least or more. You're going to focus on hitting that overall daily protein, getting in your calorie targets without stressing over every single detail. And the last mode, which is our minimal viable mode. This is where we're at like 30% capacity. Life is super chaotic. We're constantly traveling and everything is just simply not going as expected. Now, during this minimal viable mode, the goal is not perfection. The goal is simply momentum. So we need to commit to the absolute baseline. And this is at least getting in 2 20-minute full body workout sessions. At least getting in 6,000 steps per day. That's at minimum. We're at least getting in our protein. Now, the minimum viable mode is there to protect your habits so that you never lose that baseline rhythm. And this is to prevent you from having to start over every single Monday. Now, on Sundays, I need you to start at least setting aside 15 minutes to review the week at hand. Because the reality is tracking your progress is the only way you're going to know if you're actually meeting or continuing to meet your goals. So instead of obsessing over only one number on the scale, I want you to include other measures of progress. I want you to start tracking your performance, tracking your measurements, taking your measurements at least month to month. Start taking your progress photos. Are you looking leaner? Are your clothes fitting better? And do this at least on a month-to-month basis. And of course, taking your scale measurement is still important. And you can do this on a weekly basis without obsessing over the number. Now, if your waist is shrinking and your strength is going up, congratulations. That means that you are on track in reaching your goals. Now, phase 1 fixes your biology. Phase 2 fixes the actions, and phase 3 is going to fix your underlying identity. Now, you cannot maintain or achieve a lean and strong body if you don't even believe that you're capable of achieving a lean and strong body. And it's also difficult to achieve this if you identify as somebody who just views food and exercise as punishment. This is just setting yourself up for a negative enabling mindset. So we need to do some identity engineering here. Now I want you to start practicing radical accountability without the self-judgment, because every single decision that you make is either building you up for your future self or keeping you stuck exactly where you are. So if you ate those 5 donuts at the office, you completely skipped your workouts and you stayed up until 2 a.m. doom scrolling. You need to own up for that and acknowledge it without shame. Now, the goal is not to be hard on ourselves, because guilt and shame does not burn calories. And spiraling into negative self-talk is going to keep you stuck in this cycle. So I want you to stop saying that I ruined my diet, I can't completely commit to this, and I will never reach my goals, because that is not helpful. Start saying, yes, I made that choice, but what is the next best decision I can make to ensure that I'm going to reach my desired end goal? And I want you to keep in mind that every single action that you take or make is a vote that you're casting for the person that you want to become in the future. So hitting your protein targets or staying hydrated isn't simply just about nutrition. It's about saying that I am becoming the woman, or I am the woman that cares and values her health. Now, I want you to keep in mind that goals can be fragile, but the standards that you set for yourself are non-negotiable. So for example, a goal is, of course, I want to lose 15 pounds, but a standard is I am a woman who doesn't abandon her health for 2 weeks just because she had a tough day. A standard is I don't make excuses and I treat my body with respect. Now, when you start to raise your personal standards, your daily actions will naturally rise to meet them. Now, when you stack these 3 layers together, your biological foundation, the systems, and even your identity, body recomposition stops feeling like an uphill battle. It starts to become a more predictable outcome. Now, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And don't forget to go ahead and use the link down in the description to grab your free coaching lesson. And I'll see you in the next video.